If is written, produced, and directed by John Krasinski, which is precisely the reason I saw this film. The marketing left a lot to be desired. I didn't like the trailers at all. However, after the good word of mouth, I decided to go and see it. I think John Krasinski is a talented director. A Quiet Place 1 and 2 are both great, so I was curious how he would handle a family film compared to those being horror. And I'm pleased to say that I was pleasantly surprised. If is about a young girl named B. After going through a difficult experience, she begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who have been left behind as their real-life friends have grown up. Kaylee Fleming plays B wonderfully. She is a great young actress. She really captures that youthful fun and wonder the film requires of her. I've never seen her in anything other than the flashback sequence as young Rey from Star Wars The Force Awakens, but I definitely am keen to see her in more films in the future. Ryan Reynolds impressed me here, mainly because he plays his character rather straight. I'm not really a fan of his brand of comedy, and he often gives the same sort of performances film after film, so it was nice to see him doing something a little more serious. John Krasinski plays B's father, and he is solid, of course. It was really nice to see Fiona Shaw here, and Steve Carell is fantastic as the voice of Blue, the main imaginary friend that you would have seen in all the marketing. He's not blue, he's purple, but his name is Blue. The voice cast for the imaginary friends is stacked, actually. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr., Awkwafina, Emily Blunt, George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, Richard Jenkins, Keegan-Michael Key, Blake Lively, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph. The list goes on. The fact that Paramount gave writer-director John Krasinski $110 million to make an original film is such a great thing in 2024. The film has made money at the box office, but unfortunately hasn't had the kind of legs to make a profit and will ultimately lose the studio money. This is a shame because whilst this is no masterpiece, I think it is a film that has good messages for kids and also adults that would be a good film to take the family to. It certainly has more valuable lessons than something like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, despite how clumsily or on the nose it may present them at times. Even though Krasinski clearly has a lot of vision in his directing style and is quite competent on the writing end of things, the film is far from perfect. There were some ifs, as the film calls them, that were realised impressively through CGI, and some that honestly looked kind of terrible. I wish they'd really thought about some of the designs more, as they often clash heavily with the people in the real world and the elements of the real world aesthetically, which I suppose may be the point, but I still didn't love the way that some of them looked. On the writing front, the film feels tightly structured, but the rules of the world are wonky. It almost feels like it's making it up as it goes along, and I'm sure if you analysed it afterwards, it would start to fall apart quickly. I won't spoil anything, but the ending felt like a bit of a misfire. It is certainly emotionally resonant, but I had predictions of what it could have gone for that would have been bigger and more profound, and it truly feels like it went for a more studio-friendly ending. I don't know what the original intention was, maybe it was the ending that we got, but I just feel like there was more there. There were so many details surrounding B's parents that were undisclosed, and it felt like they should have been fleshed out more. Despite the at times unfocused character development, I found this film to be charming and endearing. It just feels like it comes from a genuine place creatively. I had a lot of goodwill towards it while watching it. This is aided by the simple gestures, such as Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski taking second and third billing respectively to Kaylee Fleming, who takes top billing. It's just rare that you see an unknown child lead get top billing over a supporting role played by a movie star like Ryan Reynolds. Even when it's obvious that she's the lead, you don't often see this happen. At its heart, this film explores the importance of keeping your inner child alive as you grow older. It is as much a great message for kids as it is for adults. Don't lose your sense of fun, don't lose your imagination. If you want a clue as to how obvious and on the nose this messaging is in the film, one of the ifs actually explains that if stands for imaginary friends and means what if. So that's the sort of level of subtlety that we're looking at here. Still, I thought that this was a nice movie. It isn't trying to be anything other than a nice movie, and that's the perfect way of explaining it. It's a nice movie, and for that, I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.